Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our job is to guide you through the fire and fury of Premiership Rugby Round 9.
Yep, giving you the fastest path to being expertly informed on all the biggest talking points.
And this round, which spanned January 2nd to the 4th, 2026, was not just about match outcomes, was it?
No, not at all. It was about shifting the tectonic plates of the league. We saw, historic emotional wins, score lines that bordered on the absurd, and comebacks that just defied physics.
So our mission today is a deep dive into all 5 of those fixtures.
That's right.
We're going to analyze the narrative arcs, explain the tactical and physical demands of these contests, and really isolate the truly unmissable individual performances.
And then the main event. We use all of that evidence to construct the definitive, performance-justified deep dive XV for round 9.
But context is everything here. So before we dive in, let's just set the scene.
We have to. Heading into this weekend, the top of the table was suffocatingly tight. As of the December 28th update, you had Northampton Saints leading, but only just. They were on 33 points after 8 matches.
And that set the scene for some really intense pressure, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Right behind them, you had Exeter Chiefs with 32 points, then Bath on 31.
And Bristol Bears were only slightly adrift on 29 points, but critically, they'd already played 9 matches.
Right, so the margins were just microscopic.
The stakes, then, weren't just about accumulating points.
No, it was all about securing bonus points and trying to establish some separation. This was the round where contenders either solidified their positions or risked dropping into that chasing pack.
And for the teams hovering around the bottom, like Newcastle, the pressure was, well, it was existential.
It really was. Every single breakdown mattered, every tackle, every decision.
Okay, let's unpack this and start with Friday night, which delivered 2 fixtures that, while dramatically different in their emotional weight, both hinged on some incredible resilience. Our first stop, Ashton Gate. Bristol Bears snatching a dramatic 1917 victory over Sale Sharks.
And for Bristol, this wasn't just 4 points, was it? This was a huge psychological victory.
It really was. It marked their 4th consecutive Premiership win.
And it erased the memory of that truly brutal 38-8 shutout they suffered against Sale last season.
That must have been weighing on them.
For sure. It was a classic demonstration of overcoming history. The sources highlight that the game started exactly as Sale wanted it to.
Physical, structured, territorial.
Precisely. And Sale struck first 17 minutes in, with Tom O'Flaherty finding the space he needed, and George Ford converted.
But Bristol managed to grind their way level, didn't they? 7-7 just before halftime.
They did, thanks to Joe Owen finishing off a really powerful driving maul after they were awarded a penalty advantage for an illegal tackle.
But the narrative, it felt like it swung back to Sale early in that second half.
It did. They reaffirmed their physical dominance when Ernst van Rijn drove over in the 43rd minute. Ford converted for 14-7.
And then Ford extended that lead to 17-7 with a penalty goal just after the 50-minute mark.
Yeah, and at 17-7, in that kind of attritional contest, you really felt like Sale had the control they needed.
But that's where the analysis gets deep, because Bristol's tactical patience, it started to pay off.
It really did. They didn't panic. They realized they couldn't just, overpower Sale in the close channels.
So the change came through their backline fluidity.
Exactly. Matthias Moroni, who had replaced the injured Louis Rees-Zammit, showed great anticipation to score a crucial try in the corner, rounding Rafik Quirk.
The conversion was missed, so it's 17-12, but the momentum had definitely shifted.
It had. And the decisive sequence, the one that really broke Sale's spirit, that happened in the 71st minute.
Our sources describe it as a truly free-flowing move.
The kind of open field attack Bristol had really been struggling to execute earlier in the match.
And Kaleveti Refuvu was the beneficiary.
He was. Finishing right under the posts, allowing James Williams to slot the easy conversion and give the Bears that 1917 lead.
And crucially, that flow was only possible because of the forward work done by players like Ellis Genge just seconds earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Drawing in Sale's hard-hitting defense. And the final moments. Pure theater.
Bristol spent the closing minutes just desperately defending that narrow lead.
And the win was finally secured by Santi Grondona, who delivered a crucial turnover right when Sale was threatening a game-winning penalty shot.
That single moment, that physical exertion at the end of 80 minutes, that's what defined the match.
It really did.
Let's talk about the wrecking ball that is Ellis Genge. He was named player of the match.
His 3rd consecutive, according to reports.
That isn't just consistency, that's setting a new benchmark for front row influence.
It is staggering. His performance went well beyond your standard prop duties. He was the point of the spear in Bristol's attack.
11 carries, 24 meters, beating 4 defenders.
But if you look closer at the source material, Ginge's impact was structural. Sale relies so heavily on aggressive line speed and smothering phase play.
But Genge's ability to win the gain line with sheer power, constantly demanding 2 or 3 defenders to stop him.
That's what created the space for those backline players like Ravuvu later on. He was, as the source said, thriving in the physical, attritional nature of the clash.
And speaking of Ravuvu, we noted that defensive asterisk, a missed tackle on O'Flaherty that led to an early Sale score.
Yes, but his attacking excellence more than redeemed it. When he runs, he just looks electric.
He does. The line breaks, the offloads, and that match-winning try. He offers that unpredictable X factor that few teams can contain for 80 minutes.
But you can't overlook Bernhard Janse van Rensburg in the centers. He was the tactical linchpin.
We saw his arcing passes creating width, but we also saw those thunderous defensive shots.
He's that rare center who can combine creative distribution with brutal, uncompromising defense.
And what does that mean for England? He becomes eligible in the summer of 2026.
Well, if he maintains this form, marrying that attacking flair with genuine defensive grit, he is going to be an irresistible option for Steve Borthwick when that date rolls around.
It raises an important question about player eligibility and national recruitment, doesn't it?
It does. But turning to the Sharks, the quality of their standouts only emphasizes why they were so competitive. Tom Curry at number 8. He dominated Bristol.
Dominated is the right word. He was relentless on both sides of the ball, particularly in those tight collisions and with his hard tackling.
And here's where the tactical analysis comes in. Sale's entire rhythm in the second half seemed to be tied to him.
Exactly. Our sources zeroed in on the fact that his departure coincided precisely with Sale losing their control and bite around the breakdown.
And this isn't just anecdotal. Curry's often the one generating the quick ruck ball or securing the crucial turnover in tight spots.
So when he left, Bristol's attack suddenly had faster ball and cleaner platforms,
which enabled the kind of multi-phase move that Ravuvu eventually finished. It really highlights Sale's current systemic reliance on his individual brilliance to win that territorial arm wrestle.
And finally for Sale, Rafi Quirk. He spent time out of position on the wing after Alex Will's early injury, but he still managed to cause chaos.
His versatility was so impressive. Chasing kicks, making breaks, he was integral to Sale's early success. It's a real testament to his rugby intelligence that he could switch roles and still maintain such a high intensity.
Okay, let's transition to the other Friday night story, which has massive emotional and historical resonance. Newcastle Red Bulls 25, Gloucester 19.
This was just monumental. It wasn't just a win, it was the end of a nightmare.
The Red Bulls finally ended their 19 consecutive Premiership defeat streak.
This 25-19 victory was their first league win under the revamped Red Bulls era. The collective sigh of relief at Kingston Park must have been felt across the entire league.
And they didn't just stumble over the line, did they? They attacked hard right from the start.
They did. They took an early 12-0 lead through tries from George McGuigan 8 minutes in and T. Christie just 9 minutes later.
Gloucester looked a bit rattled, though Ollie Thorley did manage to respond before the break.
But the key moment, the absolute inflection point of the game, happened early in the second half.
Newcastle had extended the lead to 25-5 with a crucial try from Simon Benitez Cruz.
But then, in the 46th minute, Gloucester flanker Ollie Thorley received a red card. That was a game changer.
It really was. And although Gloucester fought back late, scoring tries through M. Austin and C. Knight to secure a losing bonus point at 25-19, the damage was done.
It's a huge narrative for Newcastle. But how did they maintain that lead and fend off a highly experienced Gloucester side, even one reduced to 14 men?
You have to look at the tactical organization built around their standouts.
And that starts with Simon Benitez Cruz, the scrum half. He was described as the beating pulse of the side.
He didn't just score a crucial try, he controlled the tempo.
And after such a long losing run, the natural instinct is to try and play safe, isn't it?
For sure, but Benitez Cruz kept the ball moving, forcing Gloucester to track back. Even with a numerical disadvantage, he orchestrated that resilient defensive effort that held them together.
If he was the pulse, then flanker Tom Christie was the concrete foundation.
The defensive statistics for him are just mind-boggling. An eye-watering 23 tackles at a flawless 100% success rate.
I mean, that's not just a busy day at the office, that's absolute defensive dedication.
23 tackles is an insane workload for a single match. especially considering he also contributed a try and made strong carries in attack.
When you look at why Newcastle survived Gloucester's late push, it's because players like Christie were just everywhere, shutting down the channels and refusing to let Gloucester find any quick phase ball.
That level of dedication is what ends a 19-game losing streak.
Is. And you have to give massive credit to Captain George McGuigan as well. He set the tone, scoring the opening try.
His was an essential all-court display for a hooker, 12 tackles, 6 carries, and a turnover.
The leadership shown by him and the pure grunt provided by Richard Pelfreyman at tight head prop, they were the non-negotiable foundations for this win.
Pelfreyman was noted specifically for his rock of stability up front and his 13 tackles in defense.
This was a win built on sheer willingness to work hard and maintain structure, reflecting a major culture shift in this new Red Bulls era.
Moving now to Saturday, where the intensity went up another notch, giving us an absolute classic defined by chaos and last-gasp heroism. Game 3, Bath 33, Exeter Chiefs 26 at the Rec. This was an epic Southwest derby.
But the narrative arc was just pure theater.
Bath looked like they were running away with it, built a colossal lead, watched it completely evaporate.
And then somehow found the resilience to snatch victory in the final minute.
The drama started before the clock even hit 60 seconds.
I did. Exeter's Campbell Riddle was immediately red-carded for upending Henry Arundel.
So Exeter were down to 14 players for the first 20 minutes.
And when you're playing a team with the attacking firepower of Bath, that's not just a setback, it's a catastrophe.
And Bath capitalized ruthlessly. They engaged in an explosive blitz, securing 4 bonus point tries within that initial 20-minute period.
Racing to a 26-year lead. It was a masterclass in exploiting that numerical advantage.
Their execution was surgical.
It really was. Beno Obano, the loose head prop, scored first from a line-out drive, immediately exploiting the set-piece advantage.
Then Alfie Barbary, showing his absolute best form, scored the second from a tapped penalty.
Choosing power over points. Fanti Carreras then finished a move started by a massive bullocking run from Barbary.
And Ollie Lawrence capped the blitz with a bonus point try from another close-range line-out drive, a great way to mark his 50th Bath appearance.
Ian Russell converted 3. And just like that, Bath had the 5 points wrapped up with less than a quarter of the game played.
26-0. 5 points secured. Anyone watching would have assumed the game was completely over.
But this is where the deeper psychological and tactical analysis has to kick in, because Exeter Chiefs showed a level of belief and structural intelligence that was just extraordinary.
Once they were restored to 15 players, Exeter aggressively changed their tactical focus.
They did. They realized they couldn't allow Bath the free-flowing ball they thrived on. So they focused intensely on the breakdown contests.
Forcing Bath into errors, slowing the ruck speed, and just chipping away at that lead.
Joseph Dweba scored from a catch and drive, a huge mental boost, followed quickly by Ollie Woodburn in the corner.
Henry Slade converted both, and suddenly it's 26-14 at the break. A 26-point lead had been cut by more than half.
That shift in momentum was just relentless in the second half. Bath, who had been so dazzling, started looking nervous and structured.
They struggled to score, didn't they? They lost a Ben Spencer try to a frustrating obstruction call, and they started conceding constant penalties.
Exeter's pressure was suffocating. Greg Fieslau plunged over for a deserved try around the 67th minute, making it 26-21.
And then came the inevitable devastating moment. Emmanuel Feoboso squeezed in for a dramatic try in the corner in the 73rd minute.
Slade converts the tough kick, and the scoreboard reads 26-26.
I mean, to have secured 4 tries and leveled the game after a 26-0 start and an early red card, that is one of the most remarkable comebacks you will ever see.
It really is. But the volatility wasn't over.
This brings us back to Bath's mental fortitude. They'd spent 40 minutes watching their lid vaporize, but they didn't crumble entirely.
No, they managed to build one last sustained attack.
And that final sequence speaks volumes about the fitness and mental discipline of both teams.
Bath went through an agonizing 33 phases of sustained pressure inside the Chiefs' 22.
33 phases. That requires absolute commitment from every single player.
And replacement no. Arthur Green finally crossed under the posts in the 79th minute, and Russell converted to secure the 33-26 win.
It saved Bath's blushes and denied Exeter a full 5-point swing.
In all that chaos, who truly stood out? For me, Ollie Lawrence, celebrating his 50th cap, was central to that early blitz.
He scored the bonus point try, but the deep dive into the sources highlights his positional dominance.
Right. He largely dominated the positional battle against fellow England teammate Henry Slade, especially in the first half, both with his aggressive carrying and his defensive line speed.
That duel between the two England centers was a real high point of individual performance.
And the man who started that momentum, Alfie Barbery, even in his short 57-minute stint, he was the premier ball carrier.
A physical force. 15 carries for 24 meters, beating 8 defenders. He set the tone for the speed and aggression of Bath's initial attack.
When Barbery is firing, he is just unplayable.
But if we're talking about sheer influence on a game's narrative, we have to credit Exeter's flanker, Tom Hooper.
Oh, absolutely. He was key to enabling that comeback. Hooper was described as being on another level.
He logged 17 tackles and secured 2 crucial turnovers.
And when a team is playing with 14 men early on, those breakdown moments are absolutely vital. Hooper was the relentless operator who kept Exeter alive and allowed them to regain some territorial control after the red card period was over. His work rate was phenomenal.
Moving from that high-wire thriller to Game 4, which was, let's be honest, a complete demolition.
It really was. Northampton Saints 66, Harlequins 21 at Franklin's Gardens. This was surgical dominance, not high drama.
Northampton dazzled, reclaiming the Premiership top spot with an emphatic statement.
It was a 10-try thrashing. It handed a hapless Harlequin side a record defeat in this fixture and marked Quinn's 4th consecutive Premiership loss.
The source analysis confirms the massive gulf in ambition and execution between the two sides on the day.
A 66-point haul demands we look closely at who manufactured this. Man of the match Alex Coles scored a hat-trick.
A truly remarkable feat for a lock.
And Danilo Fischetti and Adorno Todaro crossed twice each. It was just a feast of attacking rugby.
But the catalyst for this devastating display was unquestionably Alex Mitchell at scrum half.
The sources are unanimous on this. He injected a level of pace and speed of thought around the ruck that Harlequins simply could not live with.
One source even called him the host's heartbreaker.
He generated 86 meters from just 6 carries and logged 2 line breaks. It was a spellbinding performance that just isolates even world-class defenders.
Yet the monumental scoreline was momentarily silenced by a serious injury scare.
It was. Saints captain and England center Fraser Dingwall had to be stretchered off in the 39th minute with a head injury.
A really tough moment, highlighting the physicality of the sport, even in a runaway victory.
His head was caught on the wrong side while tackling Kieran Treadwell. And the immediate response of teammate Tom Pearson, who instantly alerted the referee, shouting, "He's out! He's out!"
That was a moment of true sporting professionalism, wasn't it?
It really was. It emphasized the seriousness of the injury and the responsibility players have for each other's welfare. While Dingwall gave a thumbs up as he left, that type of incident is always worrying.
Returning to the positive, let's drill down on Alex Coles. A hat-trick for a second row is almost unheard of. How did that happen?
Well, it was systematic brilliance, built on exceptional set-piece execution. Our sources confirm that beyond the 3 tries and an assist for Mitchell, Coles provided steely efforts in the tight and top-notch work in the lineout.
So these weren't fluke scores?
Not at all. They were rewards for relentless pressure and perfect execution of lineout drives and close-range phase plays. His performance is a massive boost to his England aspirations ahead of the Six Nations.
And Finn Smith, who amassed 21 points, including a try. This is significant because he had reportedly fallen behind George Ford in the England pecking order.
This was a huge statement performance for Smith. He showcased not just his goal-kicking accuracy, but also his defensive mettle and backline versatility.
He didn't just stand back, he actively managed the game.
Exactly, proving he could orchestrate an attack of this magnitude while still holding his own defensively. That versatility, the ability to shift and cover, is precisely what Borthwick looks for.
The Saints' back 3 were equally phenomenal. Tommy Freeman's shift to 13 seems to be paying dividends.
Oh, it's a tactical masterstroke from the coaches. He led the team with 16 carries for 125 meters and scored a deserved try. By moving him into a position where he gets more ball and less attention than on the wing, he becomes a genuine secondary playmaker.
George Hendy at fullback is also making a serious claim for the Six Nations.
His dazzling attacking display included 114 meters from 11 carries and beating 3 defenders. He was a constant threat.
He was everywhere. But the real surprise package in the back 3 was Adorno Todaro on the wing.
This was definitively his best performance of the season. He offered serious fizz in attack.
He was the top meter eater of the Saints' backline,
logging 148 meters from 9 carries and beating 7 defenders, finishing off a remarkable late try. When Northampton performs with this attacking intensity, they are truly devastating.
That sets the table for Saturday's other big clash. Now let's move to Sunday to wrap up the action before we tally the league points. Game 5, Leicester Tigers 36, Saracens 28 at Welford Road. This was a crucial bonus point win for the Tigers in freezing conditions.
And a big dent to the playoff hopes of a major rival, Saracens.
The Tigers started strong, refusing to let the cold dictate the pace.
Freddie Stewart scored the opening try just 5 minutes in, demonstrating that attacking intent. 9 minutes later, Ollie Cracknell drove over from a powerful scrum-based attack,
Making it 14-0 following Billy Searle's conversions. Leicester's pack was laying down a physical challenge right from the start.
Saracens managed to absorb some pressure when Theo McFarland crashed over, cutting the deficit to 7 points. But the decisive shift.
The one that put the game out of reach came right before halftime.
That sequence was a moment of brilliance and tactical indiscipline. Billy Searle executed a brilliant grubber kick that led to a length-of-the-field try finished by Adam Radwan.
But crucially, Elliot Daly received a yellow card for a late tackle in the build-up.
Sarries were down to 14 men, and Leicester capitalized immediately, with Joe Hayes driving over just before the break, giving the Tigers a commanding 26-7 lead.
A 19-point lead at halftime in freezing conditions is a mountain to climb.
It is. Saracens fought back, securing a bonus point of their own, notably through Juan Martin Gonzalez, who just refused to lie down, scoring a try from close range to offer a glimmer of hope.
But the gap proved too wide to close, ending 36-28.
Let's focus on the individuals who made the Tigers' attack tick. Billy Searle at fly half was immaculate.
He was a real force, offering that vital dual threat with both carrying and distribution.
And that complemented his strong goal kicking. His tactical kicking was particularly noted in the source material, ensuring Saracens were constantly defending deep and under pressure.
Now, you mentioned he leapfrogged Finn Smith for the Team of the Week fly half spot.
They did.
Smith scored 21 points in a historic rout. How do you justify Searle getting the nod?
That's a great challenge. Look, Smith benefited from a total dominance that allowed Saints to play unstructured running rugby. Searle, on the other hand, had to manage and tactically dominate a difficult, highly contested match against a major rival in freezing conditions.
So it was about control under pressure.
Exactly. His grubber kick that led to the Radwan try was pure tactical brilliance, turning pressure into points, and his overall game management was arguably cleaner and more crucial to the final outcome than Smith's efforts in that demolition job.
Fair enough. Now let's talk about the back three-star, Adam Radwan, the flying winger.
He was at the peak of his powers. In a game that often bogged down in the contact area, Radwan was the beneficiary of Leicester's wide, fast strategy.
He posted a whopping 143 meters and scored 2 tries.
Including a brilliant intercept late on, his sheer pace and ability to capitalize on turnover ball meant the onlooking England attack coach, Lee Blackett, will certainly have noted his electric form.
The sources stress he is crying out for England minutes.
They do. And Orlando Bailey looks right at home at 12. What was his role in enabling that wide attack?
Bailey was instrumental as the second playmaker outside Searle. His deft handling and playmaking skills ensured that Leicester could get the ball through the phases and out to the wings quickly.
So he was a strategic pivot in that wide and fast game plan.
Beating 5 defenders and ensuring that the attack didn't stall in the midfield.
And up front, Joe Hayes gets a quick nod for scoring that crucial try just before halftime, widening that lead to 26-7.
A close call for the tight head prop spot. For Saracens, the highlight remains Juan Martin Gonzalez.
He just refused to give up, tirelessly pushing forward in the second half to secure that well-earned losing bonus point.
Now that we have covered the drama of the 5 fixtures, let's look at the immediate aftermath and how this explosive weekend reshaped the Premiership table.
Round 9 delivered a seismic shift, but primarily it solidified the position of the heavy hitters.
Northampton Saints, thanks to their incredible bonus point win and massive points difference, jumped back to the very top of the table.
Sitting pretty on 38 points.
That's a significant lead, but the chasing pack remains dense.
Very. Yeah. Bristol Bears' dramatic win over Sale pushed them up to second place with 33 points.
And critically, Exeter Chiefs also sit on 33 points after securing that hard-fought losing bonus point against Bath.
But due to the tiebreaker hierarchy, the sources placed them in third.
And Bath, thanks to that narrow last-gasp victory over Exeter, solidify their spot in the top 4, moving up to 36 points.
So we now have Northampton and Bath slightly pulling away. But Bristol and Exeter are locked in a desperate battle for those final 2 playoff spots.
No.
The margin for error is now minimal.
And the narrative down at the bottom, it belongs to Newcastle Red Bulls.
Absolutely. Their historic first win secured them a much-needed 5 points, moving them off the absolute bottom of the table. They now sit in 10th place, ahead of Gloucester.
Injecting some real hope into their season.
What's fascinating is the psychological difference this makes. For a team like Newcastle, securing that win validates their training, their system.
And for Gloucester, who are already struggling, losing to the bottom team, even after securing a bonus point, that's a major blow to confidence.
It leaves them struggling in the bottom, too.
Looking ahead to round 10, scheduled for late January 2026, the fixtures are huge, aren't they? Especially considering they come right before the international break for the Six Nations.
They're pivotal. You have Gloucester hosting Bath, Exeter Chiefs taking on Bristol Bears in a vital West Country Derby rematch,
and Sale Sharks facing the new tabletoppers, Northampton Saints.
These upcoming games are going to test the resilience of this newly established top four, forcing them to back up their round 9 performances under immense pressure. The results here could definitively shape the top 2 seeds heading into the final stages.
Absolutely. And with international selection looming, the stakes couldn't be higher for individual players trying to make that final impression.
Speaking of those top-tier performers, it's time to move to our main event, selecting the 15 players who truly define this remarkable round.
So our methodology is robust. We're selecting the definitive team of the week based entirely on the quantitative data, the qualitative source analysis.
And crucially, the impact a player had on the outcome of their match. These selections are justified by evidence, not by reputation.
Let's hit the front row first, where sheer force and consistency were paramount.
At loosehead prop number 1, we have to go with Ellis Genge of Bristol Bears.
The justification is overwhelming, really.
It is. Named Player of the Match, his 3rd consecutive Man of the Match performance. Described as the wrecking ball.
His 11 carries and 4 defenders beaten were the physical launchpad for Bristol's comeback.
And more importantly, his dominance in the scrum was instrumental in securing the platform that led to Ravuvu's match-winning try. Consistency and sheer destruction earn him this spot.
Moving to hooker number 2, this slot goes to the captain who engineered that historic win.
George McGuigan of Newcastle Red Bulls.
He set the emotional and physical tone, didn't he?
He really did. He scored the opening try and contributed heavily around the park, logging 12 tackles, 6 carries, and a crucial turnover. For a team breaking a 19-game losing streak, the leadership from the captain and his high work rate are non-negotiable for selection.
And at tight head prop number 3, we select McGuigan's forward partner, Richard Palfreman of Newcastle.
Palfreman was the rock of stability in that Newcastle pack, especially in defense. His 13 tackles against Gloucester show that defensive dedication. In a win built on the defensive granite that shut down Gloucester's attempted comeback, his effort in the tight exchanges provided the essential foundation.
Now, onto the engine room. For lock number 4, the choice is easy and historic.
Alex Coles of Northampton Saints.
You cannot ignore a hat trick from a lock.
You really can't. And beyond the headline scores, which included an assist for Mitchell, Coles provided steely efforts in the tight and top-notch work in the lineout. This is complete forwards performance, justifying his selection and massively boosting his England candidacy. He defines set-piece dominance this weekend.
Lock number 5 goes to a man who might not have scored, but whose defensive impact was game-changing.
Pedro Rubiolo of Bristol Bears. He's selected purely on defensive volume and quality.
The sources confirm the Los Pumas lock posted a game-high tally of 19 tackles at a staggering 95% success rate against Sale.
And, critically, he delivered a crucial counter-ruck turnover in the chaotic final minutes, preventing Sale from launching one last meaningful attack. That defensive output was arguably the unsung hero of Bristol's victory.
Into the back row, where the most abrasive performers usually shine. At blindside flanker, number 6.
We select Tom Hooper of Exeter Chiefs.
His selection reflects his influence in the face of adversity.
Absolutely. He was described as being on another level during Exeter's phenomenal fight back against Bath, contributing 17 tackles and 2 turnovers. When your team is down 26-0 and has a red card, the ability of a flanker to win those momentum-shifting turnovers is just priceless.
Openside flanker number 7 has to be the statistical titan of the week.
Without a doubt. Tom Christie of Newcastle Red Bulls.
23 tackles at 100% success rate.
That eye-watering statistic alone warrants selection. He was the defensive anchor that finally secured the Red Bulls' breakthrough victory, alongside scoring a try and making strong attacking carries. His sheer work rate was unparalleled across the league this round.
And rounding out the pack at number 8, we select Alfie Barberi of Bath.
Barberi was the premier ball carrier who drove Bath's initial aggressive blitz. In his 57 minutes, he notched a game-high 15 carries, demonstrating immense power in short yardage, beating 8 defenders, and scoring a powerful try.
He may not have finished the full 80, but his opening impact was unmatched.
It really was.
Moving into the halves, where efficiency and pace are everything. Scrum half, number 9.
Alex Mitchell of Northampton Saints.
He is in genuinely spellbinding form.
He was the catalyst for the Saints' huge demolition, injecting a tempo around the ruck that Harlequins just couldn't handle. His contribution wasn't just distribution, it was attacking threat. 86 meters from 6 carries and 2 line breaks. He sets the bar for Premiership scrum halves right now.
And the debate at fly half, number 10. We are selecting Billy Searle of Leicester Tigers.
I am.
Defend this choice over the hat-trick provider, Finn Smith.
Look, Searle earned this because he delivered an immense and complete performance in a tough, high-stakes match against a top rival. He managed the game beautifully, demonstrated an immaculate tactical kicking game, and offered a crucial dual threat with his carry and distribution in difficult conditions.
So Smith's stats were a bit inflated by their runaway victory.
I think so. Searle's performance against Saracens was arguably a greater exercise in control and critical influence.
Now for the electric backline, where meters gained defined the round. On the left wing, number 11, we select Adam Radwan of Leicester Tigers.
Radwan was outstanding. He was at the peak of his powers, thriving in Leicester's expansive attack. He posted a whopping 143 meters from expansive play, demonstrating pace and intelligence, scoring 2 tries, including that brilliant intercept.
The sources make it clear he is a must-watch for the England coaching setup.
They do.
Inside center, number 12, goes to Orlando Bailey of Leicester Tigers.
Bailey looked right at home at 12, serving as the essential link player. His deft handling and subtle playmaking skills were instrumental in executing Leicester's wide and fast strategy, proving he can be a pivot who opens up defenses. He beat 5 defenders, ensuring the ball didn't die in the midfield.
Outside center, number 13, goes to Tommy Freeman of Northampton Saints.
Freeman's positional shift to 13 is paying off, allowing him to use his attacking X-factor in new channels. He logged a team-high 16 carries for 125 meters and scored a well-deserved try in that spectacular route. He's becoming a constant attacking force from that 13 channel.
On the right wing, number 14, we select another Saints flyer, Eduardo Todaro.
This was a remarkable performance that demonstrated true fizz in attack. Todaro was narrowly the top meter eater of the Saints' back three, running for 148 meters from just 9 carries and beating 7 defenders. His constant threat ensures he earns his spot in this high-powered backline.
And finally, at fullback, number 15, we round out our deep dive XV with George Hendy of Northampton Saints.
Hendy delivered a dazzling attacking display, logging 114 meters from 11 carries and beating 3 defenders. He was a constant creative force for Northampton. His consistency in generating attacking momentum at fullback means his case for a Six Nations call-up gets stronger and stronger with every single round.
That is a phenomenal team, reflecting a round defined by moments of individual brilliance and team tenacity.
If we look back at the overarching themes of Round 9, you really see the frightening efficiency and sheer dominance of Northampton's attacking firepower.
But we also witnessed the triumph of resilience.
For sure. Exemplified by the Red Bulls finally breaking their losing streak, and Bristol's capacity to execute a winning move when the pressure was maximal.
The key takeaway for you, the informed learner, is that Round 9 was the moment the league hierarchy became more defined. It reinforced the quality and momentum of Northampton and Bath,
while establishing a fierce contest between Bristol and Exeter for those critical playoff spots. It also showcased that, regardless of league position, the determination inherent in teams like Exeter and the emerging talent at Newcastle just cannot be ignored.
So what does this all mean in terms of the big picture?
Well, we saw players across every position: Hendy, Radwan, Lawrence, Mitchell, and Coles making undeniable, statistically backed claims for international selection right before the Six Nations squads are named.
The Premiership form suggests England head coach Steve Borthwick has some genuinely tough, high-quality choices ahead.
Especially when deciding on his final back three and midfield combinations.
And here is a final provocative thought for you to mull over until round 10.
Go on.
We spent a lot of time analyzing Exeter's incredible fight back from a 26-point red-carded deficit, which allowed them to secure a vital losing bonus point.
Right.
Given how Bath struggled in the second half, conceding penalties and watching their lead evaporate before that 33-phase final movement, does the fact that Exeter managed to secure any points from such a catastrophic start speak more about Bath's mental frailty under pressure?
Their inability to manage that massive lead.
Or does it speak purely to Exeter's unrelenting belief in culture despite the setback? The fact that Bath needed 33 phases to win when they were 26-0 up early raises serious questions about their championship mentality.
It does.
Something to think about as those two Titans prepare to face off again later this season.
Food for thought indeed. The psychological scars left by this round will definitely linger. That's all the time we have for this deep dive into Premiership Rugby Round 9.
We'll catch you next time for more essential insights.